Imagine building an activation that gets twice the crowd interaction without spending extra budget or going a day over your deadline. It sounds mad, but it's not. It's all about interactive thinking. If you ever feel like you're pouring money into brand activations and getting nothing back, don't worry, you're not alone, and it's not your fault. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to design and create custom builds for engaging interactive brand experiences that don't blow your budget or go over your timeline. So in this video, I'm going to take you through the process on how we do it. Let's get into it. Number one is understanding why brand activations can fall flat. So many activations miss the mark because they chase impact without a plan. And here's what no one tells you. If you've ever poured weeks into a pop-up only to get a huge crowd of uninterested people walking past, don't worry, I've been there. The real issue, most teams jump into design and production without first aligning their creative vision with the budget and timeline. And when this alignment's off, budgets blow out, timelines run over, and the end result feels rushed and underwhelming. That's why we use what I call the alignment trifecta. A simple but powerful system to lock in your concept, budget, and timeline from the start. The first thing we need to do is clarify the core objective. What does the brand really want the audience to feel, do, and remember? Then we need to set our non-negotiables: time, money, resources, what can't be changed. We stress test every idea to make sure it's doable before we even start drafting. But Terry, won't this slow things down? Nope, it speeds everything up by avoiding revisions, rework, and drama later on. Remember, creative freedom actually thrives inside constraints. Alignment up front gives you the space to innovate and navigate without the chaos. Number two is to make it interactive or don't bother. Static displays are dead. If it doesn't invite interaction, it won't make an impact. Here's how I'm seeing brands shift experiences from meh to memorable. So many activations look good, but that's where it ends. No engagement, no memory, no social sharing. The audience walks past without leaning in. So many of our clients build in what we call tactical storytelling. Experiences that aren't just seen, but touched, played with, and shared. That's how they keep people in the moment and in the brand. Firstly, they design interaction. Can they open it, slide it, scan it, or walk into it? Then it's built for shareability. What would make someone bring out their phone? Then they add layers to this: lighting, sound, texture. What's going to make this a sensory experience? People don't remember what they saw, they remember what they did. Make your activation an experience, not just something to look at. Number three, keep control of the budget. Budgets don't blow out overnight. They bleed through small decisions. So I want to talk to you about how to stop the leaks. 1 minute you're on track, the next you're 15K over budget. People don't realize it's not one big blowout. It's death by 1,000 changes. So I use a no changes budget method. It's how we keep activation sharp, creative, and within scope. Firstly, we lock in the cost drivers early: materials, tech, logistics, all that stuff. Next, we encourage clients to have a safety buffer. A 10% buffer is usually a pretty good safety net. And lastly, we document everything: quotes, revisions, sign-offs. We track it all so everyone knows where we're at. The biggest mistakes I see here are when people work from vague estimates thinking it's going to work out later on, or not flagging changes until it's way too late. Your budget's not a rough guide, it's your roadmap. Number four, beat the deadline crunch. We're behind schedule is the most stressful sentence in our industry, but it doesn't have to happen as often as it does. Last minute changes, delayed approvals, and unexpected logistics, they all eat up your timeline faster than you think. So we follow the timeline triangle: plan, pace, and pivot. This helps us keep ahead even when the chaos hits. Firstly, we map everything backwards, start from the live date and work everything in reverse. Then we build milestone buffers, giving us some room around key deliverables. And lastly, we prepare a plan B. Always have a pivot ready so you don't lose time trying to figure it out in the moment. Deadlines aren't negotiable, but stress is. Build yourself a timeline your future self will thank you for. Number five, streamline the sign-off process. If you're waiting days for feedback, your project's already running behind. Here's how I fix this. Endless approval loops, mixed feedback, and late sign-offs. It kills momentum and sends everything into a panic spiral. This is where we use our 2-point sign-off structure. This keeps feedback focused, timelines tight, and everybody accountable. And each stage has 2 elements. Stage 1 is setting decision deadlines. Identify what needs to be signed off and by when. Stage 2 is using visual aids. Use drawings or sketches and provide specifications. And stage 3 is limiting the review rounds. Give them options to choose from and document the feedback. What if our client's internal team needs more time? One of the things I think is super important to ask your client at the start of the process is what their decision timelines look like so that you can plan accordingly. Sign-off deadlines don't have to be a bottleneck, but they're useless if you don't control them from the start. Number 6, drafting to delivery. You've got a great concept, but when it comes to execution, it fails. Why? Often because the gap between drafting and fabrication can often get messy. We run a delivery to design pipeline, a workflow that keeps each team aligned from concept to installation. Firstly, we translate the vision into build specs. We get our drafting team and our build team in sync from the beginning. Next, we lock down all the logistics. Transport, timings, site access, we get all of this figured out before fabrication ends. And then we create a test build window. We always want to test the major components of the build before we get to site so that we know it's going to work. Your idea is only as good as your execution, and a seamless delivery and installation process starts way before you arrive on site. And number 7 is how we wrap it up like a pro. You've nailed the activation, now don't blow it on the bump out. A lot of people overlook this. After the high of a hugely successful event, the bump out can often feel rushed, unorganized, and messy. And this can damage relationships and blow future opportunities. You don't want to end things on a bad note. To try to make sure this doesn't happen to us, we follow a flawless finish protocol. It's our way to try and make sure that our last impression is as good as our first. We start this by planning our exit. We've got our bump out logistics mapped out before the bump in's even complete. Next, we want to leave the site clean and tidy. Ideally, we leave it in a better state it was than when we got there to begin with. And lastly, we follow up fast. We debrief the client, celebrate the wins, and document the lessons. Finish strong. Often the last impression is the thing that gets you invited back for the next project. So if you want to create brand experiences that engage people and still stick within your time and your budget, it's so important to have the right systems and processes in place. From concept to pack down, every step here is about building trust with the client and leaving our audience with an unforgettable experience.